Tired.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Love, Life, and Fun with Sadiq and Melanie.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
So, tonight we are going to do books. I know a lot of people like to read. I'm a writer, I don't like to read, but at one point I
Which
did
is
read
nuts.
some. So, first, I want to introduce my book to you all. For those who don't know, I wrote a book I started writing Facebook posts in 2011, and then it was mentioned to me by a friend that I should take my Facebook posts and make a book out of them. And so that is what I did. And I had a book published in April of 2012, and I sold several copies of it. After I made what I wanted to make off of them, I started giving them away. My church put them in the welcome uh, packets for all the new members and stuff. And I kind of just forgot about it after that. But anyway, the book is still available. This
But you
is
still
it.
make money off the book.
Yes, this is my book here. I know it's showing up backwards on the screen, but anyway, it is called On This Journey. It's a book of poetry and words of encouragement, and it's available on sale for Amazon for just $5 a copy. It's a short book,
It's
and
on the Amazon Prime list also.
yeah, Amazon, and it's short. It's a short book, but it does have different quotes and words of encouragement. I'm sorry, and one short story in the back. So it is still available on Amazon if anybody is interested in the book. This is me on the front cover. Shout out to Kelly Cole. He designed my cover and helped me get my book published through his company called Primetime Marketing. And so, the reason we are doing this tonight, though, is in one of our previous lives, we we gave you all information on how we met, and so you all are aware that that you all are aware that when I met Sadiq, he was incarcerated. We met through a friend, and we told you all that we would give y'all more information on how we communicated and how we stayed in touch with each other than phones and emails and writing letters and different things we decided to do so we could get to know each other. One of the greatest things that we did together, it was really great to me because I'm not a reader, I'm a writer, was we decided to find different books that we could read together, and we would discuss them back and forth either on the phone or through email, and it was very very supportive to our relationship. It helped us both grow and learn each other through it. And one of the first books that we chose to read together was this one here. It's called The Wait, and I apologize if it's showing backwards to you all, but it's by Megan Good and her husband Devon Franklin. It's a really good book, and um, I'll let him talk about some of the book because he does better at that than me. Go ahead.
All right. The basis of the book or the premises of the book is it's, as the title suggests, just wait. I know this is gonna be like a bland, like an overview. Go check the book. I can tell you my opinion of it and how I feel about it. The premises of the book is as I said, the wait. Um but while you waited, like work on yourself. If you're together, I feel like everybody can always be improved upon. Like how you like improved upon yourself, like you're I guess you gotta look at yourself like a work of art. Um you were created dot dot dot. So um but yeah, it's just about being patient, man, and love and finding out what your true calling is. Pretty much that's it. I think it's a phenomenal book. I'm gonna actually open the book a little bit. We read this book, I want to say like the summer 2015.
Yeah, we did.
It's the first time we read the book.
And when he says talking about the weight, in their story, they're telling their years, and she was celibate after her last relationship prior to him. She became celibate, and their weight, they're talking about waiting on the sexual part of their relationship. They chose not to have sex with each other while they learned each other, and that gave them something else to focus on besides the sex. They were forced to get to know each other in other ways, and other than just focusing on sex. So that's what they did, and they laid it out very nicely. It was real helpful. The tips and hints they gave of different things they did to learn each other and get to know each other, and they even talked about their struggles and how they dealt with temptation, different times that they almost came to where they wanted to go ahead and be sexual, but they held out and stuff. So it's a really great read. If any of you ever get the chance to read it, it's fun to read with your partner, and then you all discuss it together, or just read it yourself. Either way, but it's a great read.
Okay, so let me back up a little. Right, correct. Um, the premises of it is the weight. They focus on the sexual aspect, but they are very adamant. I mean, they're very adamant about it being more than that. See, the thing about it is the transference of your sexual energy. That's all it is, right? If you just check it, like the most gifted people, right, are highly sexual. So that's just what it is. That's in the history of mankind, right? Just because it's sexual don't mean it's nasty either. But yeah, the transference of sexual energy. So um, if you're not sexually active, right, because there's a whole lot of energy goes into that, right? So like you burn more calories doing sex than any other thing, with the exception of swimming. Go figure, right? So it really does take a lot to produce life. You know what I mean? Or to give it, because you can give it like and not produce. You understand?
Yep.
Yeah, you get no, but anyway, forgive me because we give each other life. Hey, we're married and we love each other in the eyes of God, anyway. But yeah, so the transference of sexual energy, man. If you're not doing it, then you more focus on the things that matter. I say now, I'm gonna say this. For me, my sexual discipline is ridiculous, right? Because see, I come from a culture where sex is used as a weapon, right? And because of that, you highly targeted. My former lifestyle, like you targeted, right? Um, one of the great things about I love this, yo. That is so. But yeah, my baby, this is her workstation, so she actually have two monitors and. But yeah, I said that's one of the greatest things about us is we actually had a chance to build a really, really great foundation without this sexual temptation, right? And I'm saying temptation because I just prefaced it with the discipline. Like we are both really disciplined, like um in the sexual area. That's phenomenal. Like that's phenomenal. I mean, we be all over each other, but that's just phenomenal being able to have discipline. So not me being locked up, me being away, right? Killed the temptation. The desire was there, like always, but it gave us a chance, man, to focus on the really, really good things that matter. I'm gonna actually delve into like, if you don't mind, like something in this book. I'm gonna let her talk, but I'm gonna find something in this book that I found really, really interesting, and I'm gonna share it with you. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we are reconnecting. Hmm, please come through.
Yeah, it's saying the connection is unstable, guys. So hopefully it hasn't been interrupted.
Okay,
Now
but
it
there we
looks like
go.
it's back to normal. But
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, this is nuts. Bow. See if you can see that. Look, it says property of S. Bayard.
with his state number
Oh yeah,
on there.
that's my Virginia DOC state ID number, 112 1996. Also 205 252. But go ahead, talk baby while I find something. I just want to find a part, where
Okay, so um, The reason that we could relate to what Megan and Devon were going through in the book when they talk about them being celibate and being forced to, or making the choice to uh, hold out on sex until they got married, was because, as you all know, like I said before, when I met Sadiq, he was incarcerated. So we had a whole 4 years almost to get to know each other in other ways, to where we would not have any sexual contact to distract us from actually getting to know each other. So doing it that way, we had to, when we had the chance and the opportunity to get to truly know each other's hearts and minds and things like that, and um, we didn't have the sex part to distract us. A lot of time people get drawn into to end up being in a relationship because you start having sex, and then once you start having sex and then the relationship goes on into being one, you realize that you don't really know the person, or you find out. I mean, we learn each other every day and grow every day in relationships, but I'm talking about how people sometimes make the choice to go ahead and become sexual, and then you may live together or maybe not, but you find out this and this and this about them that you didn't really have a chance to learn and know because the sex took over. So for us, we didn't have that opportunity, and we both appreciate it. We knew what it was going into it. Like I said, we had 4 years to get to know each other, and so pretty much by the time it was time for him to get released and come home, he was. I mean, I did not know him before he was incarcerated at all.
At all.
But when it come time for him to come home, he was no stranger to me, because without having sex to distract us, and our only communication being phones, letters, and emails and stuff like that, and and visits when I would go see him and stuff, I was able to learn everything that I possibly could about him that way, with no distractions. It allowed me to focus on the things about him that he, would give me information on what he liked, what he didn't like, who he was, where he came from, what his morals and principles and standards of life are. All I had was to focus on those things. And so it made us create a beautiful foundation of love and trust, and made us communicate better and everything. So when he was ready to come home, this man was no stranger to me.
I'm
So
saying, okay, so introduction, and part of the introduction, this is page 19. I'm gonna actually read this part, so just a piece of it. So just bear with me for a second on that. But and it's called, this part of introduction. It says, yes, the weight is, in quotation, sort of about sex. Um, that's the premises, the sex thing. But it's greater than that because it's self-discovery. Um, and a lot of time we discover ourselves through others. I mean, why not in society? We look at ourselves by how others judge us. We don't just look at our eyes, but I mean, um, we come of it from a place of acceptance, right? What better way to accept somebody holistically when you know them, right? I just stated, and this will be the third time I stated, like we are both sexually disciplined people. Um, one of the great things about it is, I mean, she go all out with whoever she with. I go all out basically with whoever I'm with. I mean, that's just what it is. But it's a shared experience. Having said that, um, I could have met her at 89 when I was 15 years old. We can stamp that. Um, and been highly sexually active, both of us, and because of who we are, our views, and the way we view sex and stuff like that. We are two both really inquisitive people. Um, Aside from that, we are really introspective, right? So that allows you to approach a situation from a standpoint of truth and honesty, right? Because when you introspect, that means you're willing to look inside. And how many people really do that, right? So I can say easily, whether it was 89 or 2014, we would have really got to know each other, even in the mix of sexual activity. Um, that's just who we are. Um, the majority of people get distracted by it. I always told dudes like when I was locked up, I told guys, I said, listen, man, and I stated this before. Now is the time that you need to focus on like really the friendship, right? That's what we did. Focus on the friendship. Let your spouse or whomever, your significant other, play the boyfriend or the husband thing. Because the truth of the matter is, right, a lot of us meet women and men in the grocery stores, at the club, or wherever we meet them, in the office or whatever. Sexual tension, sexual attraction can be so strong, right? It can overshadow a whole lot of stuff. So here it is, you got guys that even out here in the street, like you got guys in society, you got guys that been with their spouse for 15, 20 years, however long, live in the house with them every single day, right? And cannot tell you for the life of them. Like if somebody was to put a gun to their spouse head, and this is a person that they absolutely love, right? And said, and I know this is kind of a harsh part of me, but I'm just saying, like, they could be facing death and they could not save their life, their partner's life, somebody that they would be willing to die for easily, right? With the basis of what motivates your woman or your guy. Like, what makes them get up and I want it, love or me, the desire? No. See, you got to find out the essence of that person. That's what this separation and allowed us to do. Can't tell you their favorite color or none of that. Am I talking too much? Okay. They can't tell you their favorite color. Like I said, she might be like, well, her favorite color is black. No, black might make look her small. You get what I'm saying? Her favorite color may be fuchsia red, but who the hell want to walk around looking like a starburst? You know what I mean? Or orange. You understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody want to walk around looking like a starburst all the time. Um, the truth of the matter is the things that inspire us when we're young, like we carry that throughout our life. Um, that's what you need to find because that's the place where that person would be coming from. You see, patting my eyes at you too. Me, I keep looking at you.
Why?
Because you're beautiful.
Well, thank you.
But nah, sincerely. But yeah, and that's what that is. So let me get to this so my baby can go and talk. Plus, we got like two other books to get through, like pretty much here. But it says, this is introduction, page 19, right? It says, yes, the weight sort of about sex. It says the weight is not just about sex, but begins with sex. So that means the sex is the foundation, as my baby was saying. Like sex is the foundation of it, right? You're gonna start from there, right? So it says the weight is not just about sex, but it begins with sex. How could it not? We live in a time when books like the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy have sold more than 100 million copies, and the corresponding movie has grossed over $500 million at the worldwide box office. Now, listen, part of me, I got a mixture of country and city in me. Like, I got a lot of influences. So if my accent is throwing you or anything, like, part of me. But it says almost every popular magazine on the newsstand has some headline dealing with sex. I like high-end sex parties, and I'm not a weirdo was an actual headline from one of the biggest magazines in the world. Well, how about we waited to have sex and we're not weirdos either? Human beings love sex. We think about it, we talk about it, read about it, watch it on the internet, and spend a great deal of our time, energy, and money trying to get it. Because of this, sex make us do some truly stupid things, which we can all stamp that. Like I told you, like I was so caught up because see, I grew up with a lot of women, right? Around aunties, and I have a lot of female cousins, and um, I just grew up with a lot of dudes, and I was a cat that okay, I talk a lot, but imagine how much information I had to take in, right, to be able to speak on, because you always have to take in far more than what you speak upon. That's the
Mhm.
basis of understanding, right? But I just used to see so many dudes get played, lose money, um, they wives, they kids, like just lose their whole situation over sex, and they know it going in, right? So I'm like, why are you so powerless? Like, why are you so powerless? Like to sex, like sex make people do stupid stuff. Know what I mean? Sex, like you can feel so much sexual energy to somebody that you don't know that you're willing to risk your life. You may use a prophylactic with a regular sex partner and use it on a regular, right, with this sex partner. But for some reason, you'll meet somebody else and then you'll just throw that out the window. You understand? Like you have the most conscientious and careful dudes in every aspect of their life, right? Because discipline is transferable if you properly
Mhm.
um know how to do it through and through. But a dude throw his life on the line would take that jank. Oh, she be like, no. And it's like, so I guess that's the little head, big head thing. I don't know.
Ruin relationships over sex.
Yeah, but it says
Go against your own principles over sex.
so it says, ironically, as much as we like to wag our fingers at one another about the potential harm of our hypersexual culture can cause, talking about, pardon me, let me start that over. Human beings love sex. We think about it, talk about it, read about it, watch it on the internet, and spend a great deal of our time, energy, and money trying to get it. Because of this, sex makes us do some truly stupid things. Ironically, as much as we like to wag our fingers at one another about the potential harm of our hypersexual culture can cause, talking about not having sex is what raises people's ire. That's true. Um, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's something that the universe created, God, science, and however um we know and understand that is the essence of life. Um, you actually have a culture. Um, that's diving into something else because I was just gonna speak about you actually have a culture that at one point in the history of time actually thought the closest thing to God was through sex. It was about intimacy. A lot of people confuse sex with intimacy. All sex isn't intimate. See, I for one was the type of person whereas um, I'm not kissing you if I do not, because doing sex that just turned into something else. Like I got to really be feeling you. I mean, and there's a whole lot of people out there that know what I'm talking about when I say that. Like it just wasn't something. And I love kissing. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna kiss you if I don't go with you or um we not we not intimately connected, right? Because it just introduced a whole set of something else into the equation.
Mhm.
Um, it's beautiful, it's artistic. It just got a bad name, but because of our society. But I'm saying our society because over here, because I mean somewhere else in the world, people are not really so prudish about it. Like you got nude beaches. Um, it's it's terrible how we sexualize children in this culture. You know what I mean? Like I be on Facebook, you know what I mean, and then I might see a child or something doing something, and then I'll be like, okay, I ain't gonna comment on that. But see how I'm influenced, but my nature is pure. You understand what I'm saying? So sex just get a bad name all around because people are so callous with it, right? But it's their right to be. It's their life. But if you want to tap into a deeper sense of self, wait, you will discover so much about yourself, man. Where you not like, okay, so here it is, right? The question is, what would you and your partner do if you wasn't having sex? So what I do is I would give a person an actual 10-day challenge. You can't do nothing sexual, but everything intimate. See, nothing sexual, but everything intimately. So I'm going on record right now. Sadiq Akwelbe, I'm giving you a challenge. For all those that's out there, just 10 days. 10 days. The 10-day no sex challenge. So you're saying 10 days, that's really nothing. I can go 10 days without your desire is gonna kick, especially if you gotta live in. Like, I'm a pretty desperate dude, as I stated that from the beginning. But if she told me right there that I couldn't get done for 10 days, I'll probably cry real tears, man. You know? No, but that's something else though. But that reading or something, like we'll read a chapter, like just find one chapter that interests us, and just give it like an overview of the chapter, because I'm like all over the place right now with it. As always, one thing about it, I'm consistent in that.
So we read that together. He was there, I was here. We discussed it after we read it through phone calls and emails. We told what we thought about it, how we felt about it. Each chapter or section we would read on, and it was just a really great way that we was able to connect through reading.
I got quotes in here by Dr. Cornel West. Cornel West, pardon me, sir. Is a really great read.
Yeah.
Like I sincerely promise this, man. Getting what you really want. Hint, it isn't sex. Happiness is pleasure without regret. Um,
Check it out, y'all. The Wait, Megan Good and Devon Franklin. Buy that for your man for Father's Day. Challenge him. Say you want to read it with him. See how it goes down. You'll really enjoy it, I promise you. Even if you don't read, because I am not a reader, I'm a writer. But these books that we're going to discuss with y'all tonight, I really, really enjoyed reading those books because we did it together. So.
Oh yes, and I'm talking about like we did reports. Listen, we got a lot of emails to back this up. Like, see, I'm kind of up to say something. Chapter 3, right? Right. Okay, so we understand that 3 is a mystical number, right? 3 represents the Trinity. I mean, every aspect of life, the Trinity, man, woman, and child, sun, moon, and stars, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. Um, 3 is just powerful. It's just represent understanding in the highest form of existence. But it also, you know what I'm saying, represents love, because love is understanding, right? Okay. So having said that, chapter 3. First steps down the path to authentic love. And this is a quote by Bertrand Russell, right? They led off with a quote. And it says, civilized, right? Cannot be civilized without discipline. First and foremost, disciplined person, but at one point I wasn't so civilized by societal standards, right? Because what I did, street pharmaceuticals amongst, but was outside of societal norms, right? Um, at least that's what the law of the land is. But it says civilized. So when I say civilized, I'm talking more so of your character, what you're made of, your moral, how you conduct yourself, right? Because I mean, it's the root word of civilization, right? So, civilized people cannot fully satisfy their sexual instinct without love. Love makes everything better. It ain't the sex that's gonna keep you together. That joke can be the bomb bigger, right? But what you gonna do when you get out the bed? Right? What you gonna talk about? You know, it's beautiful when you got something that you can share and really get into each other, because like it starts in the mind sex. All that stuff started in the mind first before it even reach there. If she ain't doing what she wants you to do, homeboy, you know what I mean? Then and I'm saying that you think like you really putting in work and she, you know what I mean? Like she ain't doing what you want to do and you think you all right, it's this. It ain't always the physical. You know what I mean? It's this. Tap into that because for a woman, man, it happens long before, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
you take your clothes off. They had a study where they actually said that within the first, okay, so they say 5 minutes, right? I can't recall where I seen it, but it says it's popular. Um It said within the first 5 minutes, a woman will basically know everything there is to know about you. At that point, only thing she need to do is she's just looking for validation from you. So at that point, only thing you can do is just mess it up, right? They said in the first 2 minutes, she would know whether or not you're the type of person that she would actually, give herself to, right? Um, in 2 minutes, right? So we just talk. So look how powerful sexual nature, because the decision, right, of whether or not you meet her standards in 120 seconds. 120 seconds. They said the average female would know this within now, you know what I'm saying, that she would give herself to. At that point, the only thing you can do is mess it up.
Hmm.
That's how strong sexual attraction is. Dude, you already got
Hmm.
it. You already from somebody, but yeah, sex is great, man. I'm gonna go practice some after this. Word. This banging spaghetti that I got. I mean, we grown. I'm almost 50.
Okay, we spent 30 minutes on one book, so we got two more books to go. So that one, of all the ones we're going to go over, though, that one was my favorite one. The Weight was my favorite. So,
Because it's so many different aspects of that book. And I know like we all over the place, but I promise you, yo, you know, I don't know them people personally. I'm not getting no proceeds from it. But I will promote it for nothing. It's that powerful.
yeah,
Um,
it truly
like I
is.
said, I come from a place where man, sex is just used not all as game. Um, just to be able to commit yourself to that when you serious about love, um, is phenomenal. So to kill it, I'm gonna say this. This is, and I'm gonna let my baby end it with her thing, right? The weight, the sexual aspect of that is just ridiculous. But you waiting for something, is a trade off because see, the sex would be far greater once you discover more things about who you are, what you like and what you do not like. When you come in there confident about your body, accepting your body, right? Because these are all the things that you'll discover during the wait, right? You get more confident, you know. Imagine you meeting a girl or a guy and y'all just meeting each other. You might want to do it with the lights off or whatever things, issues you have about yourself. You get what I'm saying? The weight will allow you to be able to address those things, right? Prior to you doing them. So, mind you, whatever issues I may have had, by the time I got with her, I was comfortable in myself, whereas I knew she was not going to judge me. You know what I mean? And vice versa. And I ain't even talking about like in that aspect, because some people have run plenty places with that one, like me being comfortable and showing you my body and stuff. But
Mhm.
but yeah, that's the beauty of it, man. So through self discovery, man, the journey is phenomenal, and I
It
ended it
is.
on that one. But I
Mhm.
promise you, I'm gonna, because I don't like what I've given, um, the conciseness of it. So I got you, yo. I'll be back with the weight. Devon Franklin and Megan Good. Two thumbs up, man.
Yeah,
Like we
great read.
love you guys because I promise you, throughout all of this, like it has helped us tremendously.
Mm-hmm. Really is.
And it helped us tremendously.
We don't know them personally at all, but we can tell them
Yeah, it
when we
helped
read
us
their
tremendously.
story. So, all right. So the next one we have is a lot of people have heard of this one though. It is The Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I've seen this book. I'm sorry if it's backwards, but I've seen this book right here with two or three different covers written by two or three different people, but this is the original by him. And so, when it's speaking of the five love languages, um, I don't know if you all understand what that means or if you know what the love languages are or not, so I'm going to tell you. All right, there are five of them. And the first one is words of affirmation. The second one is quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And what those are referring to is your mate and his love languages. So it's not talking about me and my personal ones, but it is being able to recognize and identify your mate's love languages. So from learning Sadiq and knowing
Slide a little
him,
this way, baby.
from learning Sadiq and knowing him um, through the wait period, I was able to learn that his love languages are quality time and physical touch. And so, what that means is that for him, one of the things that he likes about our relationship or that he desires from me is quality time. Another one is physical touch. He's very affectionate. And I mean, not saying that he isn't some of these other ones too, but some of the main ones that I could identify for him in learning and knowing him are the quality time and the physical touch.
It
And
is very,
so,
it is very common to have two love languages because generally you're gonna operate on two different frequencies. Um, that's a whole nother subject, but yeah, absolutely correct.
yeah, so but I've given you what the five are. So we'll speak some more on this now, but I want to say I challenge you to learn your mate's love languages. And like I said, they're words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And so it's really just it's another way that you can get to know your mate. If you don't know your spouse well enough or the person that you just hooked up with or whatever, if you don't know them well enough that or as good as you would like to know them, um, take advantage of these things that we're telling you that'll help you. It'll help you get to know them and y'all can do it together and learn each other and create some fun in the relationship and all that. But yeah, his are physical touch and quality time. So go ahead and say what you think about it.
Um, yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you hers in a second, but yeah, no doubt. I love quality time. Um, Historically, if I rock with you, I'm with you. Like I got a lot of dudes that I'm really, really cool with. I hung with predominantly women. Um, as far as from the trusted side of things, it's a whole lot of different because I ain't got to deal with a whole bunch of jealousy and a whole bunch of stuff, you know, that we find ourselves caught up in. Um, One of the phenomenal things about being understood, because see, that's human nature. We all want to be understood. That's first and foremost. The creation of language, identifying somebody like the first person that seen the other person wanted to know like who was that or what, you understand? So that's the premises. Language is the premises of communication, commitment, anything, any interaction, social interaction or whatever. For whatever it is that you want, like of a baby. Okay, well, so we would know what it is. I'm ready to take off again, but yeah. So that quality time is really important to me. Um, Vitally. So it's like the lifeblood, man. I want to be with the person, man, that I love. I want to be with the person that's holding me down. You know, I want to be with the person where I don't have to second guess them. And a lot of things that we can't properly communicate because listen, man, we go through so much in society, yo. You walk out that door, this everybody, I don't care you white, black, yellow, green, tall, skinny, whatever, right? You leave your house, your comfort zone with so much um, that society places on you, deserving or undeserving. Like you just walk out of here with so much. So we leave our comfort zone, going somewhere else with the understand like that we would like to be understood. You know, in the world. If you're not getting that at home, then guess what? You're gonna be susceptible to everybody's understanding outside of your house because you seek it. knowingly or unknowingly. If you have it at home, it's the greatest feeling in the world because it can be, it's times where there's things, I'm 46, newly 46, but it's times that things going on with me that I'm not aware of. Maybe because I'm consciously thinking about something else or whatever. But during any situations, right? She'll rub my leg when I'm driving or she driving or um I might be asleep or whatever, and she might be tossing and turning or whatever, and she'll just rub me and it instantly calms me. That's the physical touch. If I'm telling you that I need physical touch, well, I'm not telling her this, but she know that I need physical touch. In order for me to be touched, I have to be there. Desire, right? And I'm a touchy feely dude too. Sometimes to the point where, I mean, look, man, we grown and it's 11 o'clock. Like I feel her ass in public. I mean, I ain't trying to be disrespectful or nothing, you know what I mean? And then sometimes you know how you just usher your woman by the small of her back, like, come on, baby. Sometimes my hand might just slip. I ain't trying to be nasty or nothing like that, you know what I mean? But I rub her back, her shoulders. I love holding hands. I'm just a really touchy feely dude. Maybe it's my way of me putting my hands on you and like I can feel your vibe or something. Um, but me touching her calms me, right? So see how she touched me and it calms me. But me touching her calms me also because remember, physical touch, whether given or receiving, is my language. Um, so yeah, man, I just think it's just wonderful, man. I love when you put your hands on me.
And I
Like
love
word.
doing it. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm gonna tell you something crazy about love language too, right? So I just seen this post on Facebook the other day, right? So this learning your partner, right? It's got some phenomenal stories in here too, though. But I just seen on Facebook the other day, right? So it was uh a lady. Now this is something made up, right? It's like a story or something like motivational. A lady went to her mother, right, and said she could not. Now this is what the post was about. I'm paraphrasing it. So a woman, she went to her mom. She wanted to actually kill her husband. She couldn't stand this, that, and the third. She hated him. Not, I don't know, not so much as the way that he was treating her, but I don't know. She wanted. She told her mother. She was like, "Listen, I'm ready to kill him." That I'm saying, like, I'm adamant. I want him dead. So her mother said, "Okay, I will help you." But these are the things that you need to do because first you need to start loving them, right? Paying attention to them because you don't want to cast no suspicions on yourself. Because see, here's the thing, right? If you go ahead and do it, you want to get away with it, right? So it's a lesson. This ain't no recipe for murder. It's a lesson. So she said she gave her a list of things. She said you got to cook his favorite food, pay attention to him, do the things that he like, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? If this is what you want, it may hurt you to do it, but this is what you want. Like you want him dead, so you need to do everything that you can. Um, Go out with him, do all the things that he loves. you know. So after a while, she come back to her mother, you know what I'm saying? And her mother was like, okay, are you ready? She was like, Mommy, no, like I am so in love with him. Like it's the greatest relationship ever. Like, he takes such good care of me. Now, mind you, it wasn't what she was doing for him, because she done forgot all about that. She don't even want to body this dude no more. Understand? You know what I'm saying? Oh nah, he's so caring and so wonderful. He's so supportive. He encourages me. So what was the problem? So her mother said, listen, it's not that he was a bad guy. You just wasn't pouring yourself into him. So if you're not pouring yourself into him, you're not speaking his language. So what would he be giving you? Like there's no communication. Like how can I communicate with you? She started speaking his love language, started showing me that she cared. You know, she got the greater end of the deal because he went nuts. I'm talking about he went all out. And that's what you do for somebody that you love. But you only find that love through self-discovery, knowingly or unknowingly. She didn't, right? And once she got hers together and he seen it, and it's vice versa, you know, but the story was about a woman. She started speaking his language, man, and she was the benefactor of that. He benefited greatly, but remember, she was the one that felt as though she wanted to kill him. To him, he was all right. He was content. Um, she started doing those things. I'm quite sure, you know, he was living his best life. She was more attentive, but through love and sacrifice, man, he was willing to rock with her it was. He ain't want to kill her. Love language.
Mhm.
Uh, communication. We always say communication isn't the key. I mean, is the key. I'm gonna tell you here and now. Listen, communication necessarily isn't the key, it's the understanding, right? Because you can hear and know what I'm saying, but not understand the place that I'm coming from. And that's the love language. The love language will actually allow you to identify that place. Um, and that's where intentions or intent takes a hold.
Yeah.
I love you, sweetie, but
He is so great, isn't he?
nah, I blow it up. I wish, baby, at 47.
He should have been somebody's teacher, right?
Oh, nah, she said she hated that about me, remember?
Well, I mean, that don't mean you still shouldn't be somebody's teacher.
Damn, I don't know. But
This is different, though. This is uh, a conversation where being taught is necessary versus just explaining something in general and going into teaching mode doing that.
but I don't, I just look at it as sharing my views because
That's it.
for the most part, a lot of stuff is I talk about a lot of stuff, you know what I mean, from a point of subjectivity. But I also equally, you know, talk about stuff, you know what I mean, from an objective standpoint.
Mhm.
Um, I just try to give you my views on it. And how I see it. I'm a pretty much gonna come from a place of a founded truth.
Yeah.
That's where I'm gonna build from. And that's how I look at it. I don't look at it as just teaching. I just look at it as just sharing my opinion.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Um, I just use a system of education. I don't know. I don't know, but so let me see this thing.
Hold on, I got
All
it.
right, glad.
Okay, so that was the second book we did together, and it was really great too. It was a
Hold
lot of
up,
fun.
I ain't talking about you. Give it with love language.
You put it over there. You put it over there. You put it under here.
Oh,
Y'all, he done lost the book right beside it. Oh, he's gonna tell y'all what my love languages are that he identified in me, and then we will.
acts of service. And receiving gifts. It's not so much as the because see that's where we find appreciation in. I'm gonna let her talk about what it mean to her and all that, but this is me speaking her language. So that's saying that I understand my baby, right? And I'm understanding her from a place that it's not because like we give each other a lot of stuff,
We do.
ridiculous, like ridiculous, like it's oh my god,
He's got it to the point where I can't even keep a secret. Like his Christmas present was ruined weeks before Christmas. His birthday present, I gave it to him a week early. I just get so excited to do for him and get stuff for him. I can't even keep a secret no more.
that, but I know, but receiving gifts is just her thing, and it's just her form of
Mhm.
feeling appreciated. Um, I know that when I give her anything, um, she feel deserving of it. Um, not so much that she just caught up on gift giving. It's deeper than that. It's a language because you want to feel validated by the person that you love. you want to feel validated by the person who have all your secrets. It's acts of service and gift giving. Now, look, they go hand in hand, right? Because we do things, by choice. I don't have to do the things for her that I do, and she don't have to do the things for me that she do. Like we grown. Like, I mean, we come into this situation like fully functional, grown adults. I was fortunate enough to meet. I was 40 years old when I met this beautiful lady. She was 39. We both had a history. Um, but when we started talking to each other, like things started clicking. I didn't have to tell her some of the things about me that she already knew. Like sometimes, listen, you say we tell each other everything, we really do. But a lot of it'll be after the fact. Yeah. Because some things, man, about us ourselves are personal. Um, I could be going through something, man, like really going through something. She'll know it even when I don't know it, right? So something about me subconsciously is communicating to her. So what do? She comforts me. Um, so on a reverse side of that is like I do stuff for my baby, man. Like I really take care of her. Um, like listen, I I really take care of her. Yeah. Like I go hard, so hard that she say stop. Yeah. Understand? Yes. But I love her because I know it's something that she love. I know she's a deserving. I know she's appreciative. Um, but yeah, acts of service, man. It's her love language. She loved to be served. She's a queen. She should be. Um, but acts of service and gift giving, receiving gifts. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. My baby is acts of service. She loved to be served. Do I serve you? Yeah, very well. Oh, word. In every way, very well. Yeah, but and receiving gifts. Yeah. And my baby is physical touch and quality time. Yeah. So what is your baby? It's so crazy. And it don't be like really it don't the price ain't the thing. Like I said, it's the gift in itself because I mean the basis of it, if you really think about it, is the truth of the mantra is not the gift, is the thought. And who don't want to be thought of by somebody that you love, right? Do the knowledge to a female's understanding, right? I mean, because they be caught up in, yo, we just went out on a date. Man, 30 minutes then passed. This ain't called me. See, we don't generally operate on that, yo. And my hair is growing on my face, so part of me, I keep doing this and all that, but yeah, it's growing back. But man, so that's that, baby. All right, so that was a really good read too. Oh, and yeah, what I was gonna say before I interrupted that, John, too. My apologies. Is that you see real live TV, but it's not so much like I said the actual gift because we give each other a lot of gifts, inexpensive and expensive gifts. We got shit coming through this all the time at some point. I promise you, I cannot slide through Johnson City without at least going through Gabe or something. I can't. I don't care what. Listen, I can't. But like I said, that's just my way of speaking her language, man. And but it's so ridiculous. Like we are conscious about the stuff. It may not seem that way, but we are conscious about posting stuff that we give each other because it's so much. We be posting shit all day, yo. You know what I mean? And it's not that a motherfucker that's doing really, really well. We okay. I mean, we should be okay. We grown. Shit. We supposed to be all right, right? We grown. You know what I mean? Uncle Sam take care of kids, you know what I mean, and people that cannot do for themselves. Um, for whatever reason, a mental thing or whatever, a lazy ass people that can or won't. But yeah, but it's stuff like we just stopped posting stuff on Facebook, yo. About my baby got me this and my baby.
I know because it gets to the point to where people ain't looking at it like I just appreciate him and we just appreciate each other and we're grateful and happy to have each other and happy to finally have somebody that likes to do for me like I do for them. You start getting haters that feel like you bragging about it. I'm not boastful. He's not boastful. We are just very appreciative people, appreciate that we have each other and we just celebrate it all the time. So
I'm not, and the thing about it with me, like I love it now. I'm the type of person like I don't even be accepting against some people. They couldn't see people would throw that shit in your face. I did this for such and such. I mean, come on, we gonna be real. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I did this for such and such. Robert, remember when you ain't had, you know what I mean? I avoided all that. That's why I took penitentiary chances, like real shit. If we gonna talk, you know what I mean? People, I'm a person of humanity. Like, you have, like, I go around Bristol all day. Now, there's 1,000 homeless people around here that would tell you that I give out money all the time. You know what I mean? Kids in the neighborhood all the time. Understand what I'm saying? It
he
ain't
be giving out money so much I be getting mad.
yeah, like I just you understand what I'm saying?
and
So,
I love
people don't generally come from a good place. You know what I mean? I agree. My cousin Tanya Thompson said something, man. Shout out Tanya, I love you. But my first cousin Tanya, she was like, she posted something like maybe about a month ago. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen it, you know, a couple other places before, but she really went in like, why are these people running up on people with cameras and homeless? Like, that's an embarrassing situation within itself. You know how much stuff people go through, but you want to advertise, you know what I mean? Like, nah, I said, how can I come through the hood, you know what I mean, with business and tease these children and they starving? Some people are really built like that where it hurt them. That don't mean you're not supposed to have because you work, you know what I mean? But sometimes people take broadcasting, they want to take your intentions and define your intention, but they're your intentions. How's I can define your intentions, right? It's just society. It's ugly, but yeah, it's beautiful too. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. How we will actually have to shield or alter the manner in which we express our love publicly because of stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much, man. My baby love to be served. Don't make her a bad person. She ain't a gold digger. You know what I mean? Da. I do the most for you when you don't ask for nothing.
Yes, he does.
Everybody know that about me.
Yeah, I be getting lots of surprises.
Everybody, and that's just been my whole life. So,
all right, so
she's the
5
most
love
deserving.
languages. Read that too, y'all.
There's no slight to nobody else, because I mean, I had a whole lot of people do wonderful things for me. You know what I mean? I'm just not the only person that did good stuff for people. Like, I've had some people do some marvelous things for me, and I accepted it. You get what I'm saying? And likewise, um, but the most deserving by far, it's no mark on nobody else. Um, but yeah, easily, you know, people make sacrifice for everybody. Made a sacrifice, man, in the name of man. That choose to rock with you, yo, for whatever reason. And this one right here, man, just rocking with me through and through. So,
all right, guys, we're 1 hour in. So next book, last book. This one is actually by somebody that some of you might personally know because he was a friend to my pastor. Pastor Timothy Starkey was my pastor, and Dr. Mark Walker was a friend of his. Dr. Mark Walker is a preacher, and I apologize, I can't remember the church that he preaches at, but he used to come to our church at King's Chapel, and he would visit, and sometimes he would preach for us. But anyway, this book here he wrote, and it's called "Is She Worth It? And Can I Afford Her?"
My favorite book. Out of the 4 or 5 books, my favorite book by far.
Yeah, this one here. And this book, I mean, it had so many different meanings and touched me in a lot of different ways and all kinds of stuff. Um, but as far as what does he mean by is she worth it? Yeah. What does he mean by is she worth it and can I afford her? Um, is the call on my life worth it? And can I afford the price of obedience and excellence? So that's what he means by is she worth it and can I afford her? But he goes into so many things. This book is from a man's point of view, from a man's perspective. It even says here the power of unconditional love from a man's perspective. And so he is in this book. He starts out talking about the virtuous woman, and that's a piece from the Bible. In case some of you don't know that, and the virtuous woman, if you read that, I don't know what verse it is, and it's in Proverbs. I do know that, and but that lays out a hell of a woman. That's all I'm gonna say. You need to read it for yourself. If you Google the virtuous woman in Proverbs, you can find it that way. And I apologize, I can't quote the verse right now. But anyway, he goes into um, from a man's point of view, learning and understanding the woman is what he does. And then he asks himself along the way, uh, can I make this commitment? Can I truly make the commitment? And um, I mean, this book is very, very deep. I mean, it is so serious. But I mean, it is. It's from a man's point of view, him learning and understanding the woman, her worth. He talks about the worth of a woman a lot in this book. Um, man, there's just so much with this one that I can't pinpoint anything uh, other than just telling you that if you have a man who is any interested at all in reading, get this book for him because, like I said, it's written by a man. It's from a man's perspective. It's learning and understanding the woman from a man's perspective, and it truly lays out a foundation as well as teaches um, how to love a woman. It truly does, and it tells you how to seek a woman. You know the proper way to seek a woman, and I mean it's so deep. It truly is. But
Mind if I read the form?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this form was by Damon Hamby. I don't know him. Some relation or have some connection to Mark Walker Ministries. It says finally a definitive and elegant user's manual of relationship dynamics. Is she worth it and can I afford her? Encapsulates the technical writing of a desk assembly guide while romantically and poetically exposing the nuances of human intimacy and complexity. Utilizing Proverbs 31's virtuous woman as his muse, Dr. Mark Walker, the author of this book, meticulously destructs the adventure of heart, anguish of emotions, and the richness of compatibility that characterizes our relationship transactions. Whether you're seeking single, whether you're a seeking single or a seasoned spouse, the introspective glare that this book offers can repair you from your brokenness or prepare you for your bows. Okay, bows,
Boaz.
Boaz. Yeah. Thank you, sweetie. Exquisitely layered beneath the surface of the male slash female interface. Dr. Walker has craftily interposed the deeper calling of a man to God. Is she worth it and can I afford her? Likewise, challenges the reader to ask, is the call of my life worth it and can I afford the price of obedience and excellence? I find it remarkable that an author so young is already so centered into the core of life, which is to accept the trade-off as unavoidable, and to compute the cost benefit analysis as a matter of proaction and not reaction. Dr. Walker also owns the advantage of communicating these gems from experiences, not merely education and observation. So on some level, he's experienced it. So this man is just speaking about his own experiences. It's not so much as from like just a teacher standpoint. I had a debate with a guy when I was like 17 years old, 16 years old. When I was in the juvenile detention center, I got certified as an adult, so I was on my way to the big house, like the real big house. But we used to have these classes, teen dating classes, because we all, pubescent, adolescent teens, and we had two things. That we had the teen date night, just talking about sex and stuff like that. And it was co-ed, like we had girls there and stuff, that come from the other unit. And we had to go through substance abuse. The thing about it is if you had no substance abuse history, right, you still had to do it because it was part of the program, just learning about drugs and stuff like that. And the crazy thing about it is I had my debate was a guy told the teacher was like, "Yo, have you ever used drugs?" And she said no. So he was like, "So, what could you tell me about what an addict goes through?" See, wisdom comes into play with this, right? You don't have to live the experience. If I see you hit your head on that wall, you know what I'm saying? I might not know to what degree it would hurt, but I know it would split your shit. You understand? So you don't have to live the experience to come from a place of authority, right? Because a lot of lessons should first and foremost be learned through somebody else's experience. So you don't have to necessarily, you know what I'm saying, have that. That's wisdom. But hard wisdom comes from the experience. It just makes it even more acceptable to others. It doesn't invalidate the experience or the knowledge or the lack of when knowledge is present. However, it leaves more credence to those who are more susceptible to receiving something from somebody who has been through it. But both people reach masses. But this is the brother said, man, he's speaking from his own experiences. This reading is the direct offspring of a travail and trial, the sum total of a period of pain and progress, which has now given birth to these authentic pearls of truth you hold in your hands. The man is the message, and I appreciate the grace and the gift that our Lord has entrusted my brother. Count yourself blessed and have found occasion to obtain and digest. Is she worth it? And can I afford her? And use the experiences of Dr. Walker to balance out your soul, relationship, life skills. This piece of love literature is the cornerstone addition to the collective catalog of Christian insight on the subject, and I believe you'll find find it to be find it to be a reference guide for your own journey until a substantial and sustainable love connection. Okay, let me say something right quick. Right, because that whole religious views might throw some people off. First and foremost, I am a proclaimed Christian. I have a foundation of a high different science of a whole different lot of things. I've studied. I've only dedicated myself to two things, right? Christianity being the second, right? But I've studied everything as if I lived it, right? Um, DeVar Franklin is a preacher, right? I'm saying this because some people might get thrown off about the whole religious thing. You have people that just don't rock with it, but then you have some people would think, well, it might turn them off, because of that. We talking about life lessons here. Don't know religion, don't know culture, nothing, right? You get what I'm saying? Have a monopoly on the truth and the experience. Um, it's been said that you can gain the most insight about self from your greatest enemy. You know? But, they try to learn, you know what I mean? But nah, on a serious note, so don't be turned off by that, because maybe you're a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian or something. We talking about the basis of life skills. That supersedes everything because whoever it was that breathed life into you, he breathed or he or she breathed life into you with the understanding that you have life. How you sustain it would be their doctrine, their mantra. You understand? We're talking about life itself. We're not talking about the sustainability You know what I mean? But that's your choice. But we just talking about life lessons, man. You know, about how to navigate yourself through this stuff, man. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I already told you. This is my favorite book. Dealing with bad. I'm gonna just go ahead and read some of the chapters to you. Not the title of the chapters, because she got me this and that. Like this was the answer because um this allowed me to understand who she was in a greater perspective. Like I actually found. Listen, my baby sent me this book. Listen, my baby sent me this book. I got this one in 16. I got this book in 2016, right? At this time, we had already been rocking with each other like deeply for 2 years, right? And mind you, we ain't doing it, right? I'm locked up, so we burnt up a whole lot of bread on phone calls before they became 99 cents. You understand what I'm saying? When them jokes was $8. Like we were shoveling it out. Like we GTL, yeah. Yeah. But so emails, letters, all of that, right? So we was rocking with each other like really. This book right here, single-handedly, told me things about her I ain't even know. And I was already 2 years into the relationship. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that because I was an attentive. I'm talking about an attentive 2 years. That's how good this book is, man. Is she worth it, yo? Because see, a lot of times, man, we give ourselves to undeserving people, man. There's a lot of people out here in this world, man, that's sad. Their whole situation with love ain't proper. Who don't want to be loved? You know, if somebody ain't loving you right, man, it doesn't. A lot of times, it don't even have anything to do with you. You know what I mean? Something in that person broken. You know, people that tease and pick on people like because everybody want comfort. You know what I mean? A lot of times we just get caught up in who we want to receive the comfort from because like somebody gonna give it to you. Um, but yeah, this John right here, man. Yeah, she was worth it, yo. This John jump right here. Can you handle can you handle my capacity?
That means he's a strong man coming with a lot.
How
And
far
can
would
she
I
handle
go?
that? It's a great read.
Dealing with the baggage,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the worth of role playing.
Mm-hmm. Really great read, y'all. So we have given y'all 3 books that we read together. We threw you all out some challenges. And the first one, Sadiq challenges you all to do 10 days with no sex
10 days with no sex.
so that you all can learn each other. And even though you've been together 20 or 30 years, 10 days with no sex, you have to find something else to do. And I guarantee you, you will find out something about that person you've been with all this time that you did not know. So, and then I threw it out there to learn the love languages. We told you what the 5 of them are, and we challenge you to figure out what your love like what your spouse or your partner's love languages are. So it's not you don't figure out your own, you identify theirs.
Hey, look, check this out. See how our challenges match? Check this out. Do self discovery right now. Listen, if you ain't getting no mood in them 10 days and you are attentive, like don't just because do it with purpose, right? Everything that you should do, you should be done with purpose, right? Because that's how you succeed. Don't do nothing haphazardly or listen, purpose. If you add purpose to it, to your drive, listen, success is imminent. Just add purpose. So our challenge is even max. I'm saying, right, don't get none for 10 days. But while you're not getting none for 10 days,
you can learn love languages.
and the thing about it, if it's something that you already know what the language is, right?
And when you figure them out, you got to cater to them. Yeah. That's how you keep your relationship spiced up. I know what his are, and so I'm always going to cater to his all the time. I'm going to do physical touch. I'm going to give him quality time because that's what he needs from me is that. So when you figure them out, you cater to them, And so, other than that, we also, I'm going to show you the books again. And I really, really hope that at least two of the four, because we started with this one, which was my own. This is a pretty good one too. So, but of two of the four, you will purchase and give them to your man for Father's Day. Please make one of them this one. I mean, if you're having trouble in your marriage or your relationship, or even if you are not, you need this.
I'm telling you.
You need this book, and it's short, y'all. It's thin and short. Look.
Now I'm gonna go on record and say like
So,
some things.
and then the other one was this one.
I'm sorry, sir. I just put it on the publisher. Maybe it's the copy. There's a couple things in here that
Give it to him with whatever you want him to have for Father's
the
Day.
writing.
Get him that book, or two of them, or one of them, or something. You all. And so, yes, what we did, and I'll let him speak. What we did was we took these three books. I would order the copy, send it to him at the prison he was at, and then we
This
would
was
say,
2017, man.
oh,
I still
okay.
got my Amazon joint.
So then we would say, okay, we're going to read them. And each time we had a phone call or a chance to email, we discussed what we read and how we felt about it, what our thoughts were on it. And we also mentioned how it could help us and relate to us. And we did that with all three of these books in their entirety, reread them. And you would not believe the connection we made through that. Not just through the information or the content of the books, but also the connection that we made, how we were able to connect with each other through doing that, the bond we created. It just made everything so much more deep, and it's just great.
I got some notes in here
Oh yeah,
from a scribe that I was writing you about this book with an email,
yeah.
and these are my notes. Okay, so real quick, I got this book in July 2017. I was at Cecil One State Prison in Virginia, Waverly, Virginia. So I read the book, right? It's crazy because like I just went and got the book up at home 2 years and I just opened it and my notes fell out. But
His notes, you can't see them good, but yeah.
we'll read the email to you, but it says, and I told her, I said, read this part without me. Because what we do was our format was we will read a chapter, a single chapter at a time, right? And then at the end of the chapter, what we do was we will write something about that chapter. So when we talked on the phone, or sometimes like we'll discuss it through emails, but you know it'll be an extended conversation about that chapter. The thing about it is I could not move forward in the book until she read that chapter and vice versa. Right. And the thing about it, like I'm locked up. So she out here in the world, she got like 1,000 things to do. Sometimes I'm bored, I'm ready, I'm eager because now I'm feeling it, it feels good. And I'm like, oh my God, this got me loving her so much more. Like for real. So I want to read, but I had to have the discipline of not doing. This has been a couple times I cracked it open too, but I didn't do it. You get what I'm saying? But I told her, so after reading one chapter, um, I said, read without me because I want you to see how much of me do you recognize in these pages, right? Um, and that's the can I trust you chapter. And then I said, but these was notes that I wrote to myself as I'm reading it. And then, you know, after I read, I go back and, you know, do the email after we do something like a book report. Oh, and after the chapter, we do an overview of the chapter. I swear, maybe that's where the school thing came from. I feel like we're school because I said it for me. I'm like, babe, after that, we gotta write. Oh, I like, babe, we gotta write a report over that. So, but that's us being serious about love, though. But look at the benefactor. You know, like we have a really beautiful love. You know what I mean? We always say, you know what I mean? People's like, yo, we'll do it for the grams. Okay, that's my natural last name, the name I was born with. And I was like, yeah, we do it for the grams. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you just get a whole lot of, I don't know. Sometimes something can be so good and then unmarred by stuff that people want to put their fingerprints on it. just and a whole lot of stuff, man. It's just people love to see the destruction of something. Um, I had somebody actually was talking about somebody that I know that we know in a relationship, man, and just like a whack sense of pride that they situation failed.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about somebody else, and I'm like, I mean, people just want to see stuff fail. Man, my baby was talking about it today, just about um, we love each other so much that other people see it to the point where ain't nobody playing with it.
Mhm.
Know what I mean?
Mhm.
I told my baby, I said, listen, man, on some real shit, I've been here 2 years. Somebody would love to tear this down. People see this shit all the time. All them pictures you post of me and all that shit. You done had 2 Range Rovers in 18 months. You know what I mean? And that's together love. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because when you love somebody and you that like you go hard. Listen, my thing is if you say it, you don't have to say it. If you say it, live up to it. Right? You get what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
just a lot of people, man, just don't like the like they like to see it, but they love to see the rise and the fall. Understand? We so secure in ours because we really don't do it for the gram. You know what I'm saying? Like we good people. Um, we love humanity and all of that shit. You know what I mean? We human. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going on record. You know what I mean? We really don't give a fuck with nobody else feel or anything. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter because we are so.
Yeah.
I mean, that ain't no slight to nobody else. But when you into what is you into, like we can touch that. You know what I'm saying? So nah, that's why I said, man. Yeah, it's real, real through and through. Because see, here's the thing: if it wasn't real at this point, somebody would have stepped up and said something
Mhm.
on either one of our end.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we human. You know what I mean? We got eyes and all of that shit. Like
Mhm.
you don't put on blinders because you get in a relationship,
Yeah.
but we ain't playing with it. You know what I mean? Or why else would we be together?
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, that's one thing I love about it. And this song right here is ridiculous. Let me say this right quick. It said Ruth and how you pronounce it, Boaz is so us indeed. Nice catch, babe. And I said, R&B together, we make beautiful music. LOL, babe. I know. But do you really feel that I am your Boaz? That wise and what I said, oh, that was that wise and Pocahontas.
Mhm.
I said, wise and Pocahontas showed that you were and still are my Abigail. Gosh almighty, let me go back. I was at Sussex one at this time. Oh, Lindell. See, 124. I'm ready to go in.
I know.
Once you get to the book, you'll understand. This is a oh no, this is my first time seeing this since I wrote this.
Yeah.
Like this 2017, June the 9th is when I got the book when she ordered, right? I mean July the 9th, right? Speak into versus speak to us, right? So you speak into a person versus you speaking to somebody, right? You speak life into them and all of that encouragement and all that stuff. I say Ruth and Boaz is so us indeed. Nice catch, babe. I say R&B music together. I say R&B together. You know, Ruth and Boaz. You know, that was just my play. Ruth and Boaz. So I say R&B together, babe. We make beautiful music. So I said babe, I know, but do you really feel that I am your Boaz? And I say that wise correctional unit, they some pearl shit. You know what I mean? I went through a whole bunch of stuff there. They pearl races. And
Yeah.
I'm saying this officially. You know what I mean? They did some whack ass shit to stop me from coming home. Like all of them COs at Wise Correctional Center, you know what I mean? Every single one of them, you know what I'm saying, is some pure trash. I can say that now, you know what I mean? Because at one point, I wasn't even trying to say it publicly. And the reason, and if I wasn't trying to say it publicly, for those that know me, know why I wasn't trying to say it publicly. Understand? But yeah, they some pure shit, yo. Part of my language. And Pocahontas. Like I got assaulted. Like they killed like 4 people. They was on investigation for 4 bodies at Pocahontas when I was there. Understand what I'm saying? I'm coming from a childhood that get shook down. You know what I'm saying? And the CEO just, yeah, I'm a respect. I've been in 27 institutions. Like I'm aware, and I've walked alone my whole time. Understand? Like I'm a very well respected person, not only just in there, but outside of society. I told you, like I'm a good person. I ain't saying to be said it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a I do. I'm fair. But yeah, dude just like punched me right in my back. And he told me, he's like, yo, get the F out of here. That joke was nuts. But yeah, so I said that Wise and Pocahontas situation showed that you were and still my Abigail. Um and that was the chapter that speak into versus speak to us. Um then the hide and seek chapter I said, through your love, I better know and understand who I am. And then I put, the Solomon chapter 4, verse 12. I said, babe, it's just a whole lot of stuff. I'll go through this, man. You know, yeah, my babe, yeah. She the real deal, man.
And he's the real deal.
I mean, that's just what it is. She the real deal, yo.
All right, y'all. So we're an hour and 27 minutes in. And before I thank y'all for watching for all this time, I want to let y'all know that we have some really serious and really deep videos coming up for y'all real soon. What we're going to do is we're going to go back and dig out our letters and our emails from when he was incarcerated. And we are actually going to read some of those to y'all. And I must warn you in advance, you cannot have children around because they are very explicit. Um, some of it is real life, and some of it is fantasy and just different things that we chose to read each other about plans we have and stuff we want to do. But they are very sexual and very explicit, and they get down to the nitty gritty. So when we do those, it's probably going to be on a weekend night after 10 o'clock, in case you're listening live. But just be ready for it. I mean, you really enjoy it because listen. From some of the stuff I wrote him, he would share it with the guys at the prison and tell them what they would say.
They would go nuts. All right. Like we got sexual fantasies. That we played out in our mind. Some of the things that she actually experienced here, during that time, because we kept it saucy. You understand what I'm saying? Through the phone and all of that. But there are things that I've done, things that she's done apart to kind of bring forth the connection. And then it's some fiction stuff. She's a phenomenal writer.
That's what I was about to say. Remember, I like to write, and I have a wonderful, amazing imagination, especially when it comes to romance and sex.
I had dudes tell me, okay, full disclosure. Yeah. All right. So she'll write me little sexy stuff like fantasy. So what I do is, like 1 or 2 guys I might pull through, you know what I mean? Because, dudes, for one, like, do like sexy stuff, sexual stories. You locked up, you know what I mean? Hustler magazine, look at pictures. I've never was into the picture thing, books, because my imagination and my experiences took me everywhere. But I would actually, whether it's a physical paper or my multimedia player, my JP file, whatever, and I'd be like, yo, read this, yo. You know what I mean? I come back. Dudes read it, right? But they be so embarrassed because at the time, like, this is my wife. You know what I mean? Oh man, that joke was good, but I was like, word, like, yeah. But the whole time, you know what I mean? They embarrassed because they might have seen her in the visitor room or they know me. You know what I'm saying? They be like, man, I don't know, but so I had a couple guys, you know what I mean, try to get the joint on the sneak tip. Yo, let me hold your place. I can listen to your music tonight, yo. Are you going outside? Yo, let me get your But I knew what it was, man. You know, you try to read the emails, home boy. You know, then it told you about the emails. But yeah, I used to share her stuff, man. You know, not so much as the personal stuff that she's actually done that we do together because that is private, you know, but the stories within themselves. Sexy stories, she may start a story, right? And be like, pick up where I left off. And I
Yeah,
start like we have a couple unfinished.
we do.
Yeah, but we got a junk, man. I got a junk called Cookies and Milk.
Yeah, I have the masterpiece ball. You all will love these.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
telling you, it ain't nothing like it's Carmen Sutra at her greatest.
Oh yeah. Hey, on record, check this out. 50 Shades of Grey. I just read. Listen, they sold like 100 million copies. A whole some phenomenal, ridiculous number, right? Worldwide, $500 million or whatever. Officially, I'm saying, and listen, you just coming from a different perspective. I'm not dissing. No, I'm a writer. I deal with art and love, so I'm not put. But I'm saying as far as sexual, and it's different sexual attention and desire is different, you know, because some people like their stuff bland. Some people like their stuff a little saucy, you know, like we all different people. You know what I'm saying? Some people may think something trashy or some, you know what I mean? It's just however your sexual mind is. But I will tell you this though, um, I've been told I felt like this anyway. Not because she my baby, you know what I mean? But I've always felt like this. Like her writing is really good. And I'm judging from a place where I'm a writer. I've written all my life. I'm just not published. I had an actual book deal in '95. I turned it down. I was doing too much stuff, you know, trying to get this paralegal thing jumping. I was doing a real estate thing. I was teaching guys about the stock market. At this time, I was in White Post Correctional Unit number 7 in White Post, Virginia. So that's in between Front Royal and Winchester. But then I went on to Haynesville and helped facilitate the class, interpersonal relationships. So I was just doing a lot of stuff. But so I'm coming from a place where all through school, you know what I mean? Like I wrote, you know what I mean? I'm just not no professional by her standards, but like trust me, you know, when I say she's a phenomenal writer, I'm coming from a place of an artist himself.
Mhm.
And there's no slight to 50 Shades, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, listen, them dudes is going nuts. And guys was like, yo, man, listen, that joint is way better than man. Tell her to start writing, man. Publish them joints, man. Like I had dudes like want to give up money and all of that stuff for that, yo. Um, money ain't easy to come by in that situation. I don't know if too many people familiar with the inside through a loved one or personally, but they was clamoring for that. You know, they was clamoring for that, yo. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I let one dude sit at the kiosk. I'm not listen, check this out. I let one dude sit at the kiosk, right? You know, and I'm like, yo, man, we had a time that we only got 20 minutes on that, you know what I mean? Then you gotta check out and you can check back in. I'm at the kiosk. And I'm like, yo, man, yo, come read this. You know what I mean? So he comes sit down. So I go, I'm like, yo, you read the Jones? Like, yeah. But he ain't scrolling through no pictures. He ain't going there looking at no music or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, all right, yo, let me get it, Joe, if I get my time up. You know what I mean? I need to get on the Joe so I can send out an email or something. He ain't want to move. He was embarrassed. I said, dude, the time giver, I need to get on that, Joe. We like, well, now let me send my baby this email, man. He's like, man, I'm like, where you gonna sit there to the time right now? No. Them last shorts with a revealed. You won't trying to get up. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, they real sexy, man, and they not trash. It's just sexy.
No, it's not trashy.
It's grown people
It's
stuff.
it's grown. It's very classy.
Intimate, yeah.
Respectful, but it is down to the nitty gritty. I'm telling you, and you're gonna love it. I was embarrassed when I wrote it anyway, but I just
let's just say it's vivid. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's just say it's vivid.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, anyway,
and then we got regular stories too. There's role playing and
yeah, we did. But we won't take any more of your time. Keisha. Oh my God, why can I not think of her last name all of a sudden? Cody's wife, Keisha. she hollered at me today, and I know she watches our videos. So I wanted to tell you thank you for thinking of me. She asked me today if I would write and read a poem in her wedding next year. And yes, I will. So anyway, thank you for thinking of me. I'll be happy to do that for you. And I'm glad that you're giving me the opportunity. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching all this time. We will try our best to start the email reads, the letter reads, and stuff this weekend. Like I said, it'll be on a Friday or Saturday night after 10. Don't have the kids around because we're going to read it as it is. It comes out with grown folk language, very explicit, but it is what it is. It's interesting and you will love it, I promise. But thank you all for watching. We appreciate your support. Hope that you enjoy it.
Hey, yo, what is the name?
Love, Life, and Fun with Melanie, with Sadiq and Melanie.
No doubt.
Y'all have a
No
good
doubt.
night.
And listen, you land at times when I couldn't.
All right,
Sadiq
guys.
and Males.
Yes.
Males Q.
Good night.
Peace.
Love y'all.